Hello, everyone. This is Darcinovia here. I'm sorry if I haven't really posted anything all month. I haven't felt up to it. For those of you who are watching after the fact, if this is not as long as I would normally do it, it's because of the subject matter. This is very not pleasant. I know this topic about fascism may seem tiring to my longtime viewers, and it's depressing to my longtime viewers. But I feel like it's my responsibility as someone that's an anti fascist, that holds anti fascist views, that I should say something. For those of you who don't know, if you've been living under a rock, there's been another mass shooting. Big surprise, I know. If you live in America, not a surprise. Like, a mass shooting is basically it's been so common. It's like it almost feels like there's a mass shooting like every day. It feels like there's a mass shooting all the time. We're so desensitized because of how often it's happened. And I'm not here to defend the shooter at all. What the shooter did was horrific. Children shouldn't be killed. You shouldn't target children. Killing someone that can't even fight back is the most cowardly thing you can do. But that's not what the worst part of this whole thing is. Like the last shooting that happened, you guys probably remember, the right capitalized on it and celebrated openly, gleefully, when you guys know what the shooting of I don't even remember what the place is called. It's been so long. Colorado Springs, yeah, that shooting. The right was mask off, celebrating the deaths of people because they were LGBTQ plus. None of this nonsense, thoughts and prayers. They stopped doing that. Why is that relevant when that has happened months ago? Because currently they're using the fact that the person in question was a trans person. Now, I don't have the experience of being trans. I'm a cis white man, and I'm only speaking as someone that has empathy for my fellow man. The right are pushing genocidal rhetoric against trans people. They're capitalizing on it. They can't help themselves. Oh, the person was a trans person. Let's go celebrate and push some bullshit statistics. They're hiding their genocidal rhetoric. Like, of course, we all know the typical tactics. Oh, it's mental illness that's the problem. Well, they're pushing this rhetoric, and guess what they associate with being trans is a mental disorder. So they're using that as another way to push marginalization against the LGBTQ plus community. If you still are living under a rock, if you still deny that fascism is in America, is not in America, you're fucking blind and there's no fucking helping you. If your head is so far up your own ass that you can't see what's right in front of you. They are literally pushing fascist rhetoric. And they're taking advantage of every opportunity to do so. Oh, you know what? They're glad this happened. They don't care about the lives of the children that were taken or the families that have been permanently destroyed as a result of this tragedy. They're exploiting this tragedy to push their genocidal fucking agenda against the LGBTQ plus community. Make no mistake, they're going to weaponize this on politicians to pass laws to further marginalize trans people because that's what they do. Actually, there are people that are glad it happened. Bigots who have made it their whole personality to push anti-trans rhetoric are weaponizing it. They're glad it happened because it just reinforces their talking points. They're sick. And no, you're right. No person who actually has empathy for their fellow man would ever be glad this fucking tragedy happened. Nobody would be glad. Anybody that would is a fucking sick person. And let's be real. The likes of the Quartering, Matt Walsh, they're all sick. It's sick and evil to actually utilize this to push such hatred for people that have no power already. Now, trans people have to defend themselves even more. Oh no, that this doesn't represent our community. They are under attack right now. And this doesn't help. It doesn't matter if you debate a fucking fascist or point out the statistics. No, actually, it's mostly cis white men that commit most of the crime. It's cis white men that actually commit most of the crime. It's cis white men that are the ones that actually commit the most shootings. Oh, it doesn't it doesn't matter. It doesn't register because they don't care about logic. They don't care about what's right. They don't care that they're wrong because they don't care about being right. The only thing they care about is pushing their agenda. It's no. I will not. I don't want to fucking give Joanne any more attention. But you know, good old Joanne, who knows what kind of shit she's probably already pushed on Twitter. I don't need to go on her Twitter to know she's probably exploiting this as well. These trans fucking exclusionary fascists will use anything to push marginalization against the trans community. Now, why am I going out on a limb here for a community that I don't belong to? Because I'm a fucking human being, for God's sake, and I have compassion for my fellow man, and to see such horrific stuff being done, it makes me filled of rage right now. There's you guys already know about the gathering in New Zealand with fascists. You know, basically, I forgot this woman's name, but she literally had Nazis show up at her rally, and having the likes of Joanne basically make it seem like, oh, they're actually they're part of a different group. They're actually supporting the LGBTQ plus community, even though they stood alongside these fucking people. We need to face reality. We need to be armed. None of this fucking lib talk about, oh, we need to fucking disarm the proletariat. Oh, we need gun control. Who do you think has all the guns? The people that have all the fucking guns already would. That's not going to fucking fix anything. The psychopaths that already have all these guns, they're just fine. Wait, what? You're gonna basically? You actually honestly believe that these people are gonna give up their guns? No, they're not. This is all being used more to do pro gun control talking points. Like both sides are weaponizing this to push gun control or further marginalization against the LGBTQ plus community. It serves like the same agenda to disarm the proletariat. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm not as enthusiastic like I normally am. It's just it really does disturb me just how normalized this kind of talking points have become. The only reason I am even doing this stream in the first place because I had to get it off my chest because I have to. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing much longer. I've been doing this. I'm pretty much reaching the limit of the kind of stuff I'm talking about. It's I know this is shorter than how I normally do my streams because my streams are usually really long. They're usually like an hour long. I'm just maybe if I had some guests on, I probably would extend this to other topics, but the recent events have disturbed me greatly, and I don't know how to react to it anymore. People have become indifferent to the rise of fascism. Yeah, fucking Joe Biden making a fucking joke about fucking about ice cream and a mass shooting after fucking oh my god. When you have the president of the United States basically making a fucking joke when a tragedy like this happens, it just and you have people in the audience laughing. These are fucking people's lives that have been fucking ruined as a result of this. And this sociopath thinks it's a fucking appropriate time to fucking make a joke. You have a fucked up country and with a fucked up society when the leader of that country, right after a tragedy happens, they fucking make a joke and treat it like they're on some comedy fucking show. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Of course, he's fucking rad libs, It's like, oh yeah, but it's nice to have a president that's willing to actually to make a joke. It's like, there's nothing funny about fucking people dying. There's a time and place for everything, and making a joke about a fucking mass shooting. No, you don't make a joke fucking about ice cream or whatever. It's like, what the fuck? And I'm not exaggerating this either. I'm not exaggerating. In fact, you know what? Fuck it. I think I'll show you. I'm just gonna help. I'm just gonna it'll help give Danky King some like views, but I don't care. I mean, Danky King is back. For those of you who are curious, yeah, I'm gonna show you this. So I'm. It's not just me speaking out of my ass. It literally fucking happened, and I couldn't fucking help but be disgusted. It's like I just cannot believe this shit. Out of all the things that fucking happened, it was fucking that. It's like, wow, what the fuck? It's like these people literally can't fucking help themselves, can they? Making a joke about some fucking, oh, it's so funny. Yeah, it's all, shut the fuck up. No, seriously, shut the fuck up. There's a time and place, and you don't fucking make a joke after a fucking tragedy. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's like the United States is literally fucking run by a fucking sociopathic people. I'm showing it. It just give me some time. Fuck, I have to search. My computer's not necessarily the most fucking fast at all. So yeah, I'll show it through Danky King's video. It's good. So give me a little bit. And I cannot believe it actually happened. Shout out to Danky King. Like, people just give the guys his support. My man is back. He has been gone for a while. I'll give anyway. Okay. This filled me with rage when I saw it. It's like, what the fuck happened? Okay, I'm showing it. So just give me some second. God, I hate working with this thing. All right, let's see. Okay. Share screen. Yeah. Okay. All right, okay, just making sure. Okay, I gotta able the sound. I gotta make sure the sound is abled before I actually do that. So give me a second. I don't want to basically have people look at a screen they can't hear. All right, good. Share sound. All right. All right. This filled me with rage. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband.
I fucked up. I don't hear anything. Okay. All right. Sorry. I gotta do that again. All right.
My name is Joe Biden. I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband. And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip. I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream. By the way, I have a whole refrigerator full upstairs. My name.
I mean, I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous.
Actually, I gotta.
It's so ridiculous that
Okay, I'm gonna do this.
My name.
Sorry, people. All right.
And I ate Jenny's ice.
Okay, because that sound was bad. So. All right.
My name is Joe Biden. I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband.
Yes, this actually fucking happened.
And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip. I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream. By the way, I have a whole refrigerator full upstairs. My name.
I mean,
What the fuck?
I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that the president of the United States comes in front of an audience of people after a mass shooting where children died. Children died. And he's joking about ice cream. I mean, I don't know. Like, what is this? What is going through his mind right now? What was going through his mind when he decided to come before an audience of people, come before a nation, address this horrible, horrific mass shooting that happened, and joke around about ice cream? You know, I don't know if it's because Joe Biden is old as fuck and he just needs to be wheeled off to the nursing home, or if because he's genuinely that sociopathic. But either way, this guy does not need to be the president of the United States. He's either a demented old fart who needs to go retire, or he's a sociopath. I don't know why it's either or. It's probably a mixture of both, to be honest. But I don't know what possessed him to do this. I don't know why his handlers didn't tell him, "Oh, by the way, Mr. President, this is a very serious issue, and before you go up in front of the whole country and start making ice cream jokes, you should probably second guess yourself before you do that. That's not a very good strategic opportunity." So, I mean, those are the words of condolence that Joe Biden has for the victims of this mass shooting. And imagine being a parent of a child who just got killed, or the loved one of one of the other victims that got killed. And you expect the president to offer his sympathies, and instead, he jokes about ice cream. And here's the thing, even out of context, it was not that funny of a joke. It was an old man boomer joke that, like, didn't even, like, so the thing that baffles me about
For those of you who want to watch the full video, just go to Danky Kane's channel. I don't want to if I play the whole video, there'll be literally no reason to watch his video. And I don't want to steal Danky Kane's thunder. I mean, the guy, he has been gone for almost 2 years, but yeah. Oh God. I'm not shocked, but okay, I am and I'm not shocked at the same time. I know that sounds like a contradiction. It's like, wait, what? You're shocked and you're not shocked. Okay, I'll elaborate why I'm shocked and not shocked. I'm not shocked that he would make a joke. I'm shocked that he actually would do that on national TV with an audience of millions of people. And you would think that the people in the White House who is on his PR team, it's like, Mr. President, I don't think that's a good idea. It's like, this is going to be used against him. Like in the, when in the election, there's no way it won't. If it's like, what the fuck? Okay. Even if you actually don't give a fuck, you don't, that's just bad optics. Like Joe Biden is a fucking scumbag, and anyone that defends Joe Biden at this point, it's like, what the? It's like you're scum. I mean, you don't make a fucking joke like at a time like this when people have just lost their children. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, it's like no one is shocked that Joe Biden is a fucking demented sociopathic monster, but holy fucking shit. He just keeps fucking doubling down. Oh yeah, I'm Joe Biden. It's like fucking Christ. Not even fucking I can't even believe I'm fucking saying this about fucking not even Donald Trump was this fucking much of a ghoul. And he's a fucking scumbag. Don't get me wrong, I hate Trump. Yes, he is. Danky King is back. He returned today or yesterday, depending on where you may be. Yeah, of course they love Joe Biden. Of course they are, because they're neoliberals. Yeah, as for why Danky King has been gone, I suggest you watch his first video that he uploaded earlier today, where he actually talks about some of the stuff he's went through. I'm not going to get into detail about that because Danky can speak for himself. And if Danky is watching this, I would like to do a stream about, in the future. And because, these shootings are getting worse. And don't be surprised if I talk about another mass shooting in the future. I mean, it's basically an American pastime at this point. Like, you can't keep up with all the shootings. There's some shootings that have not been reported because they happen so often. It's just this particular shooting. Why did they report on this one? Because it sells. Oh, wait. Since transphobia is hot fucking such a hot commodity right now, let's fucking, sell this because, transphobia is like a popular thing to sell, especially in this fucking fascist country. So let's weaponize this. All the fucking outlets are going to use it. The conservative outlets, the fascist fucking, outlets on social media are also going to fucking do this for their own fucking hate mongering campaigns. It's like they're taking full advantage of this fucking shit. Oh, I'm dreading hearing about this. It's like, I hope I don't have to talk about this on my job because I live in this fucking shithole that is Orange County. I fucking hate this place. Even though I can't say if it's safe to be a trans person in Orange County because I don't have that experience, but I'm pretty sure it isn't, depending on the area that you live at, because Orange County has like cities that wouldn't be safe to be a trans person. I won't disclose where I live, obviously, because I'm not doxing myself. Trump versus Biden. Trump would absolutely stomp Biden, but it doesn't really matter who wins. Okay, everyone knows the position I have on electoral politics. It doesn't matter who wins because no matter what, the fascists are always going to win. Like, these movements of fascism are everywhere. And people should have listened to the trans community years ago when they were sounding the alarm that this fascist rhetoric against the trans community would get worse and would get more and more genocidal. It's because it's history. Anyone who has studied the Holocaust, who studied the rise of Nazism, would know what I'm talking about and the parallels between the marginalization against the LGBTQ plus community and the in the Jewish diaspora, they're basically parallel to each other. In fact, you can't separate anti-Semitism from transphobia. You really cannot. Yeah, it is. It's disgusting. How could people laugh at fucking people that freaking have met who literally lost their families on national TV? It just goes to show you this country is doomed. Like, if someone on national television could make a joke after a tragedy happened and there's no pushback, it's like, literally, where the hell is the pushback? No one with any humanity would fucking tolerate this shit with Joe Biden. But, of course, we live in America, the most fascist country on the fucking planet. It's like, oh, okay, maybe not the most fascist because, in some ways Russia is worse. But it still doesn't change the fact that, fucking Christ, we had fucking Nazis show up in a freaking rally. That for whatever the hell that turf, I forgot that bigot's name is. I know she's one of J.K. Rowling's affiliates. Yeah, America is going to destroy itself, and it is going to destroy itself. And it's just, America has no future. It really doesn't. This country is the most divided country in the fucking planet. No country is as divided as America. Yeah, all empires fall, but can you name an empire in recent history that is as destructive as America? I mean, the fucking culture of America is violent. You can't, go anywhere without hearing about some sort of violence in some way. Yeah. In fact, I'd argue America hasn't been united for a very long time. There's a good reason why the civil rights era is not taught in schools. There's a very good reason that it's not taught in schools. Because what happened in the civil rights era? If you have to trace what is the cause of all these divisions that are festering today. It all starts with the civil rights era and the Vietnam War. Ever since then, America has not been a united country. Well, it's never been truly united, but the facade of it being united was shattered in the civil rights movement. Because, you can't remove the civil rights struggle with the anti-war movement that arose in the 60s. You can't remove that. They're one and the same. Yeah. It's because, they're basically run out of tactics. They constantly invent new enemies. And trans people are the newest straw man to the target because they can't overtly attack this group and that group because they have to chop down at the weakest group first before they can attack the stronger ones. Yeah, well, patriotism in America hasn't really been it's very weak in this country. I don't know that many people that are patriotic. You can't be a patriot in America. Really. Because what is freaking... Because what is America? What is America in general? because America, and I bring up America in general because anything I talk about in America can easily apply to like the UK, because the rising of fascism. I'm mostly speaking about the English speaking world, actually, mostly because I'm more familiar with that. Like recently in the UK, by the way, you can find this video on Essence of Thought about a indigenous woman in Australia that was attacked by a rally that's let women speak, even though this woman is a woman, but she was attacked for what reason? She suffered racism. It's like this movement that these, let's just call them fascists, these TERFs are, in the first place, they don't care about women. It's a white supremacist movement pushed as a women's right movement. Well, I would say 9/11 was probably the last time we really saw patriotism in America. So you're not wrong on that. You are completely correct. It is. I have no idea how long this stream is going to go. So if I've run out of things to say, don't be surprised if I end it suddenly. I just have a lot on my mind because of what's been going on lately. It's overwhelming. It's one of the reasons why I don't do streams unless I feel like it. Yeah, that is the thing that's hilarious. Well, America brings up war crimes of other countries when it's guilty of far worse crimes. Now, not to say that Russia isn't guilty. I agree. Okay, I'm sorry, Talking Minutes, but I'm not interested in talking about pop culture stuff. This is a very serious topic. If I were talking about pop culture stuff, I would be talking about it. It would be irresponsible of me to suddenly change the topic after discussing serious stuff for 30 minutes now. So I would appreciate it that you keep this stream on topic and treat Maoist third worldist movement with respect. Okay, this this person has been doing a lot of stuff for all their life, and they don't have patience for your crap. So please stop it, because I'm not gonna discuss anything pop culture. I don't want to do that right now. There's a time and place for everything, and that isn't it, because entertainment is the opium of the masses, and it's a distraction to talk about that when there's a lot more serious stuff to talk about. I would love nothing more than not to talk about this depressing topic that is fascism. Fascism is a serious topic, and I can't treat it like a game. I'm not like that. I'm not like that scum be liberal. That is, oh my God. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Do you people really want me to suffer through be liberals bullshit? Because I'm offering it, because I don't want to watch be liberals video comparing trans people to fucking white nationalists, because I've been hearing this from my supporters. I don't know if I want to expose anyone to that. I won't unless you want me to, because that's I've been hearing. My former co-host has done that, and I believe my supporters on this, those who keep tabs on Be Liberal, and I know you watch me, don't fucking deny it. This isn't off topic, but it's really something that at one point, me and Be Liberal stood up against the Scoundrels Cantina. Now, what does that have to do with this subject? Everything. Because Be Liberal virtual signaled about being for LGBTQ plus rights. But he recently, and by the way, I know this because of my supporters. I have not had anyone like talk about this. Be Liberal compared trans people to white nationalists. What the fuck? Now, I'm bringing this up because people like him who are so-called communists are weaponizing this as well, are showing their true colors. And only reason I'm bringing this up because it's important that we call these people out for what they are, because they're weaponizing Marxism to push fascism. And we can't ignore that. As much as I would like to ignore like them, we cannot. And that needs to be called out. Now, I'm gonna see if there's anyone who wants to come on. I know that, but I put on recent events. It should be self-explanatory what I'm talking about. If I put let's talk, everything is allowed to be discussed. This is a serious matter, so don't take it personally. Okay, I understand, Gongaros. I just offered it for those who want to come on. Now, okay, I don't know what any more I can add. Then I guess I'll delete it then, because if you're not available, then I'm just gonna okay. Now, well, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, that's true. All right, see. Is there anything else I could talk about? It's okay, Attack. Just know that there's a time and place. Don't take it personally. There's a time and place. I don't know. I honestly, I don't have a crystal ball looking into the future, so I cannot say if America will go to war with China. I don't have enough knowledge on that. I think a war is inevitable because the contradictions of capitalism, I think, make a third world war inevitable. I don't think we will avoid a third world war. There's just no way it's not going to happen. These empires are going to fight over scraps, and I don't see them not fighting for it. Yeah, we should discuss it about the war in Iraq. God, that's a fucking war that fuck. Yeah, the US is doing the groundwork because let's be real, the military industry needs war in order to survive. Without war, the United States would have collapsed a long time ago. That's why an anti-war movement is a threat to this fascist state. A war is the only thing that can keep this empire alive. A empire built through war. Of course, all empires are built through war and blood and plunder. You know what I mean? And empires without war cannot function. The United States would collapse if there ever was a anti-war movement that was successful, that abolished the military-industrial complex. The military-industrial complex is what is keeping the war machine running. Yeah, they are pushing the yellow peril hard. No, Now, not to say I want a third world war here. I don't want one. I don't think any of us want a war, but I'm looking at trajectories and where things are heading. It isn't a pleasant sight. America isn't long for this world. There's going to be a lot of violence. Of course, this is not off topic here. It really isn't, because the rise of transphobia, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, all this is fascism. And that quote from George Carlin, which I'll read it out loud because I think it's like relevant. When fascism comes to America, it will not be in brown and black shirts. It will not be with jackboots. It will be with Nike sneakers and smiley shirts. Germany lost the Second World War. Fascism won it. Believe it, my friend. That describes the current situation perfectly. And the late George Carlin called George W. Bush a fascist on fucking Bill Maher's show. He called America a fascist state way back then. This was back in 2005 when he said this. Not shortly after Hurricane Katrina. And he did it on his own show. Now, I don't want, if I talked about Bill Maher, that will derail the stream. Unless someone's willing to come on, I might have to end it because I'm running out of stuff to say, and I don't want this to change into something that it's not. It definitely is. Now, mind you, I'm not a trans person. I don't have the experience. I'm speaking with someone that has empathy for the LGBTQ plus community. And it troubles me what I'm seeing. Go ahead. Ask away. It troubles me that how casually and how people are when it comes to violence, how callous people are. The fact they would laugh as the leader of a country like this would make a joke on live television and people laughing. What the fuck does that send? What kind of message does that send to the rest of the world? What kind of message does that send to the people that suffer through mass shootings? What kind of message does that send to the people that people that were naive, that voted for Joe Biden to protect themselves from this? It sends the message, ha ha, we don't care, fuck you. I don't care if your family gets killed. I'll make a joke and there's not a fucking thing you can do about it. You already have my vote, fuck you. You'll vote for me in the next election. That's fucking what it is in a nutshell. America fucking, that's the message it sends to the world. We don't give a fuck. That we'll treat you however we want you to, and we have no obligation to help you. We have no obligation to do anything. That's exactly what it is. Well, what do I think about starting up an outreach, which is apart from market and state power, would need to be outgroused? Sorry, what do you think about starting up an outreach, which is apart from market and state power? I don't know how to answer that. What do I think of starting up an outreach? I have no experience of doing this. If I had someone who has more experience of doing this stuff than I do, I would be open for I'd be open to the idea. It's just I don't have firsthand experience, and I don't know how to answer that question. I'm sorry if it's not a satisfactory answer. I wish I could answer that. Yeah, they don't want to. They don't want to address the underlying problems with the mass shootings because it would require addressing the problem. And regarding, I want to answer this question properly. Like, it is important that we start a grassroots movement and anything that could help the people. I just don't know how to do that. I'm one guy with a computer, a shitty one at that, and a mic. Yes, it does. It should. I'm open to that. I would love to be part of something like that. And I think the Black Panthers have one of the best programs. Their ideas, like the 10-point program, is probably a great model, and I think it's effective. There's a reason why COINTELPRO went after the Black Panthers. They were one of the most effective people of getting support. They were one of the most effective organizations from getting support from the people. If we learn from the Black Panthers examples and actually will learn from their mistakes as well, I think the 10-point program is a great starting point for building a grassroots. Yeah, it is. Yes, they are. I talked about that earlier in the stream. Yes, they're afraid of the growing left. Yes, they were. And I think they are the best example. They are the best example on how to build a communist movement in the United States, an effective one. Yes, they made a lot of mistakes and they ultimately were crushed. But it doesn't change the fact that the 10-point program, if you read it, is an effective way of building a grassroots movement that can effectively resist against the fascists. Fascism is not an ideology that gets mass support from the people. Fascism is against the people. Fascism seeks to crush the spirits of the people and make the people terrified. When you look at fascism as a whole, fascists are cowardly. It has the false sense of strength. There's nothing strong about fascism. Fascism is weak. It always has been weak. It only is strong because it appears to be strong. It's good at appearing to be strong, but it's anything but strong. That's why fascism has to be more aggressive in order to actually push its ideology. The reason why people are so terrified of the state and all these fascist forces is because they appear to be strong, but they're terrified. They're scared. They're scared of the growing movements that are rising around the world against imperialism. In America itself, they're scared of the class consciousness coming from the historically oppressed classes, and the proletariat that they thought they destroyed. The best example of this is the Black youth. Like, I'm talking about Gen Z. By the way, I'm talking about Gen Z, by the way. They ain't having this shit that's being pushed by the Black boomers. Neither are the Black Gen Xers as well. There is a rising tide, and they're scared of this. I'm just using them as an example. Like, they are. You're seeing a generational shift, and the right knows this. That's why the white supremacists on the right are so scared. They are losing. Fascism requires an image of strength, and it's an image it can never actually push long term. Fascism is about fear. That's what it is. That's what it always has been. It's fear of the people's rising to power. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've heard about that. Tulsi, yeah, that bitch. I've talked about her earlier, though I forgot her name. Yes, they are. But they can't. But here's the thing: the fascists can't offer the proletariat even fucking social democracy, because even that is too far. That's too. They are not. They're unwilling to give concessions. Yeah. Yes, I agree. We need to build a resistance, but we need to learn from our mistakes from the past. And as someone, this is going to sound like ID pull, someone that's white leftists need to check their privilege. We can't go around claiming, oh, I'm being oppressed. Oh, I'm poor because, but no. I'm white, and I will never, ever suffer the same kind of oppression as anyone from the African diaspora, indigenous, the Jewish diaspora, or anybody that isn't classified as white. I will never suffer that kind of oppression. Even if I were homeless, I would have an easier time getting help than someone who is part of the African diaspora, because I have that. We have to check our privilege. And I'm speaking to the white people in my audience. Those who aren't, they don't need to be told any of this. I'm speaking as someone who's white, because we have to check our privilege, and we have to do it constantly, because if we don't, we're just going to get complacent. And that's a luxury that these other communities do not have. Now, I'm speaking from the perspective of a cis man, not someone who's part of the trans community, even though you could easily say those who are white, this also applies to them too. It also applies to the cities that you live in too. I hate Orange County with a passion. I fucking hate Orange County, but I'm still better off than those who live in, let's just say, Riverside. And I hate this place. Now, I'm not going to speak for people who in your community, but I agree with that as well. But I'm speaking as someone who's white, that we have to do that, because no matter how oppressed we are, it still doesn't compare to people who are black that are in the same position. I'm learning this. I'm learning disabled. Had I been black, I would have had a far worse time than I do. Yes. And just because you are a leftist and doesn't change the fact that you have privilege. A communist that's white isn't going to have the same stigma as a communist that's part of other communities. And let's just be real. We have a white problem. This movement is primarily dominated by cis white men. And unless that changes, we're not going to succeed in building power in this country. There is no reason, and people of the African diaspora have no reason to trust white people at all. When you have a history of backstabbing, of the white left throwing the people like the Black Panthers under the bus, or constantly sabotage them, or work with the very people they're fighting against. There's a history of this. We have to accept this, and we have to be better than our predecessors. And we can't just repeat the mistakes they've made. What good is it to call ourselves communists if we're not even willing to actually acknowledge the mistakes of our predecessors. Communism is not a religion. Communism is a science, and I'm sick and tired of people treating communism as a part of their internet personality, because that's essentially what we're seeing with these first world communists. Now, I'm not saying this because I'm an anti-communist. I'm not. You guys know this. I'm criticizing tendencies that I've been seeing for the past few years now. Yes, you are right. You are right. You are right. Black, Native, and lumpen make up the vanguard in the first world. Being real, we gravitate to this, or we fall under Whitey's spell. And I'm not with first worldism. I not either. First worldism is a disease that has destroyed every fucking communist movement in the first world. Why haven't we yet to have a movement that's successful? Because we haven't dealt with the biggest contradiction. White supremacy is the biggest obstacle of building socialism in the United States. Hell, in any European country at that matter. Yes, this also applies to Russia. If we do not overcome white supremacy, we're doomed as a species. White supremacy is the biggest threat to the continued existence of humanity. And we got to look at it for what it is. Now, I'm not going to speak from someone from another marginalized group, but white supremacy, you don't need to be white to be a white supremacist. And I think anybody that actually has paid attention to the likes of Candace Owens, Thomas Sowell, I think that's what his name is, and amongst many others, can actually tell you this. That is true, whiteness in general, but yeah, I agree. Now, I don't have all the answers. Everyone here knows I don't have all the answers. I mean, come on. I'm just a guy on the internet with a mic who likes to talk about entertainment. But this is the time I can't, because of the severity of what had just happened is like something that cannot be ignored. Yes, whiteness is a problem. Now, I spoke from white supremacy as mostly from the American context, but yeah, Gangaros is correct. And I don't think most communists have learned, like, heeded one of the lessons from Lenin, Stalin, or Mao on chauvinism. If we can't even learn the basic lessons by our predecessors who tell us, no, we need to do away with these reactionary tendencies, we're not going to build anything. In fact, instead of calling other people reactionaries, we need to deal with the reactionary in ourselves first. I'm sorry, but I don't think any person has any ground to stand on calling people reactionaries or criticizing people for being reactionaries if we're not willing to deal with the reactionary within ourselves. Now, it's an ongoing process. It takes many years to deprogram ourselves from reactionary thought. But if we're supposed to live by examples, example. We have to live by example. We can't expect others to do away with the reactionary ideas if we're not willing to do it ourselves. All of us, to a degree, start off with reactionary ideas. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. If you're a reactionary, that doesn't mean you're a bad person, because I would be a bad person by default because I once held reactionary views. It's the willingness to hold on to these ideas and unwillingly criticizing yourself. Criticism and self-criticism are the key components. And also, it's the start of deprogramming. Now, when people hear deprogramming, people's like, oh my God, so you're for brainwashing? You're for putting people in camps to blah, 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 whatever fear mongering bullshit. No. What I mean by deprogramming, I mean gradually do away with whatever views you hold. It isn't easy admitting that you're wrong. It isn't easy looking at yourself and realize these views that you hold are harmful. What you do and what you say is harmful. It isn't easy. And by the way, I'm speaking to the white people in my audience mostly. It's not easy. When I learned about all the stuff that I unsung, when I held subconsciously, I was angry and I didn't know how to deal with it. It was very hard, but through that anger, I learned to be a better person, to criticize myself and the stuff that I once held, and started to learn. Getting angry there's nothing wrong with anger as long as you're willing to use that anger for something productive. Yeah, I am. That's something we need to talk about at a different stream, because honestly, the topic of this stream is changing, and in fact, when that is happening, I feel like that signals the end of the stream. I'm gonna reiterate one last time. I don't care if it's through repetition. Self-criticism is the most important thing to have. That's the first thing you need to learn, because that's the first thing you have to do to grow. Because if you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to accept criticism and from others, and or constructive, obviously, there's a difference between constructive criticism and criticism for criticism's sake, or self-criticism. Then again, I think that that is a kind of topic I could do more in depth in a different stream. Be wary for the times ahead. I know I keep saying this every time I talk about fascism. We haven't even gotten to the worst part of it yet. That is what makes the rise of fascism scary. We're not even in the worst stage of it yet. When we think things can't get any worse, they do. The LGBTQ plus community is being attacked heavily worldwide. This latest tragedy is going to be weaponized by TERFs all over the world. J.K. Rowling, if she hasn't already, is probably going on Twitter talking about, this is the reason why trans ideology needs to be defeated. This is the reason why we're fighting for women's rights. It's like, this is just the beginning. And it's like, wait, but they've been doing this for a long time. We're not at the worst stage of it yet. We're not at the worst stage of it yet. Oh, yes. Who's to say they aren't already doing that? But that's a topic for a different time. They'll go after everyone eventually who doesn't meet the mold, who doesn't support the state. This is just the start. And if you hear me say that again in the future, I'm going to do it, because it's the fucking truth. Nobody's safe. And if you're naive and you still think that these people aren't fascists, these TERFs, you're part of the problem. And I will end this stream with this, for those of you who are still on the fence. And I will say this: you either support fascism or you don't. There is no middle ground for fighting fascism or being against it. You support it or you don't. There is no middle ground. Choose now. Are you a fascist or are you an anti-fascist? There is no middle ground on this. And if you continue to try to be in the middle, then as far as I'm concerned, you're a fascist. I'm tired of arguing this point. Right now, I would rather have someone that actually is honest for what they believe than pretend to be my friend. Fascism is not a fucking joke. And one last thing. For those of you who are against Antifa, thank you for basically admitting to the entire world you are a fascist. Those of you who claim to be against the state but support the police, you're a fascist. Those who claim that, oh, you're not a fucking fascist, but continues to listen to Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro, you're a fascist. Those who continue to insist that, oh, these people aren't fascists, we're just asking questions, you're a fascist. Debating about the existence and the dignity of people in the LGBT community, their existence is not up for debate. If you think that we should be having a debate over these things or we should be able to ask questions about whether their existence is legitimate, fuck you. Deaf to fascism, and anyone that supports fascism, well, let's just say you deserve a fate worse than death. Let's just say that. Death to fascists and fascism. Thank you, everyone, for watching.